And that's a perfect marriage when you think about it, the credit and the real estate. Like,
Yes.
you need credit to be able to purchase a home, right?
Purchase a home, get a car, get business funding, all that stuff. Like, and it fluctuates based off your interest rates too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you got a higher credit score, you're gonna get a lower interest rate on everything. You know what I'm saying? But if your credit score is shot,
Right.
you're gonna probably be coming out an extra couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? That's how much of a difference your credit make on like those type of things, like
Right.
a couple thousand, which I don't know about you, but like I like to keep. I would love to keep that money. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. Welcome back to another episode of the What's Your Motor podcast. Today, I have a young man today. This has to be like my youngest guest that I've had yet. I'm very, very intrigued to learn a lot more about him. My best friend, Marquez Hardy, this is actually his nephew. Shout out my boy Quest. We've been friends for over 20 plus years since high school. But, you know, this is his nephew, but this is pretty much my nephew as well. I've been knowing him since he was a youngin'. They call him DJ, but his name is Desmond Bentley. He's an entrepreneur. He's a father, hardworking young man. I would attribute a lot of that to Cece, to his mom. Shout out Cece. We worked together quite a lot of different areas, especially in terms of education. So please welcome my man's Desmond Bentley. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad we was able to catch up, man. You know, it's been some years since I actually seen you.
Yeah, for sure.
And really kind of like been tapped in. I remember you were.
When was the last time you seen me?
Man.
Wasn't it like back in the Earn and Learn, like 2017, 2018?
Yeah, or did we run into each other at the gym one time? Maybe on Planet?
I don't
No?
think so.
Okay,
you
maybe
be
not.
hooping a lot, so I don't,
Yeah.
I don't even hoop no more. I can't even dribble the ball no more, man.
It's all good, but I know you doing your weightlifting thing. I mean, you lifting weights and, you know, staying active and stuff like that. But man, it's been a while. It's been a while. I remember you reached out to me for a little recommendation.
Yeah.
But I always knew you were like doing some great things. You had a strong mind. So
Yeah, most
you
definitely.
know, how you feeling though?
I'm feeling good, man. When you wrote that recommendation, that was for like college, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Like, I took a whole different route since then. You know what I'm saying?
What year did you graduate?
High school?
Yeah.
2018. So I went to college from, I graduated in Rufus King 2018.
Okay.
And then I went to Parkside
Okay.
from 2019 to 2020.
You went up there, you stayed on the dorms and everything?
Yes. Man, you think it'd be cold up here? You go up north,
It's different?
way different. Like, it's snowing up there. Like, it's snowing like two inches of snow, I think, right now.
Oh my gosh, dog.
Man.
Did you like Parkside though?
It was cool. Like, I was very like engaged with a lot when I was going there, because you know I was taking on sports management. You know, I was trying to go.
Sure was.
Yeah,
I do
I was trying
remember
to go
that.
down the same road Kev was going down.
Yep.
So,
Shout out Kev.
Yeah. I was trying to go down his route because I seen, you know, I used to always go on vacations with him and stuff like that to the summer league, and I just liked how he, you know, conducted business and still like had that personal life. So I went there from 2018 to 2020. You know, I was part of the Parkside athletics team. You know,
For real?
I was working on their communications side of things. Like, I was doing like the graphics and all that for them. Dang. Yep. And then I was an RA.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a resident assistant because, you know,
In the dorms?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to pretty much just oversee like how they how the students reacted and stuff like that. Like, you know, so yeah, and I was involved in a lot. Like, I was an ESPN Milwaukee intern.
Never knew that.
You ain't know that?
No.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was nice. You know, they center down is in East Capitol. You know that news station on East Capitol across from
Wendy's.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought they
That's
also
it's TMJ4. They like merged TMJ4, then it's ESPN Milwaukee, but I think they just converted their name to like Good Karma Brands or something like that. But it's still like originally ESPN Milwaukee.
And then they have ESPN like radio down at the 3rd Street Market or something now too, down at the Old Grand.
See, that's still them, but they just use that place as like, it's like an engagement. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
okay.
a lot of people be down there.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, so I did a lot during my time in college, but I wasn't really messing with like taking out loans, and it kind of got hard for me, man. I remember like right before COVID hit, like I went to the financial aid office, and like they told me like I was like in the negatives on my payments or whatever, and I knew my mama was trying her hardest to like
for sure
help me out or whatnot, but I didn't want to keep bringing that stress on to her. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I ended up just dropping out after college. Well,
how many years did you do?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. Okay.
I left right around COVID time. Actually, like right around COVID time, that's when they sent us home. Cause like I guess the outbreak really. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
They sent us all home, and that's when I did like a deep audit on myself. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
okay.
real. And how old were you?
I was like 18, 19.
18, 19.
Yeah, I
you
did
talking about doing an audit on yourself. You was already being, reflective.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm out of college now. I decided I'm not going to go forward with this route. Now I got to make something shake. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I kind of got into like the entrepreneur side of things.
Got you.
Once I decided like, okay, I got to make things shake.
No, for sure. So before we even get to that, because that's one of the things I want to highlight, the fact that you are pretty much like a serial entrepreneur. You do more than one thing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your upbringing. What was your upbringing like?
Yeah, so when I left college, it started with me, starting my clothing brand, which was Ambitious Apparel LLC. Yep. Pretty much like what Ambitious Apparel LLC is all about. Our motive is to strive to be great above all means. And what that basically means is no matter what obstacles come your way, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be able to adjust.
Absolutely. And
you gotta be able to take what come with it and try to make the best out of it. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
That was the first business I ever started. It was the clothing brand, which it had its highs and its lows, just like any other business. You know what I'm saying? It had its highs and its lows. It ultimately led to me being like sharing a store with one of my guys, one of Kev guys. You probably know him too. His name Joshua Jones.
Okay. Yep. I remember.
Oh, you know him? Okay.
Yeah. So, question: how old were you when you started your clothing brand?
I was like 18, 19.
So this was like during the Parkside time, or
after? I was actually in the process of like getting it together while I was like finishing out my last semester.
Got you.
Because I already had it in my head, like, okay, this not gonna work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like after I got out of financial aid office, I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna work. And it's crazy because like I tried so many different things since then. Like I even tried the ROTC. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, like I wasn't as fit as I was now. So they smoked me. They smoked me, and I'm like, oh heck, this not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like so then I ended up trying trucking.
Okay.
Wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Yeah. Then I tried carpentry.
Okay.
I actually like carpentry, but the measurements was that was my downside. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't really always like a good math student. So, and I ain't know like that much math came with like carpentry. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure, all the measurements and knowing 3/5 and 1/4.
Yeah. I don't know that.
Hey, listen, I'm not that guy either.
Yeah. So I tried that. What else? I tried a lot, man.
You tried a lot. So when you were younger, like as a little kid, like what were the things that you was into when you was like maybe 6, 7 years old? Like what do you think you were like into during that time?
I think at that age, we all kind of got the same dream. Let me go to the league. I'm gonna go to the league. You know what I'm saying?
Something athletic, right?
Yeah, it was always something athletic when I was young. Like I had this aspiration that I was gonna go to the league. You know what I'm saying? And I was really trash. Like
in basketball though.
Yeah, I was really kind of trash, but like I was decent actually. I ain't gonna say I was
but you
trash.
love basketball though.
Yeah, I love basketball. So.
Who was your favorite player?
Kobe.
Okay.
Always been Kobe, always gonna be Kobe.
Oh, it's gonna be Kobe.
R.I.P. Kobe. Man.
All right, okay. Shout out, yeah. R.I.P. Kobe. Okay. So then, what schools did you go to?
As far as like
grade school, because I know you said you went to King for high school, but where did you go for like grade school, like
grade school? I started off going to East Scare. Okay. I'm not even sure if that's around no more.
Man, is that off of
It's off of
60th? No, that's not Harley.
It's Harley.
Okay, yeah.
It's Harley.
Okay.
Across from that Sebastian Church.
Yeah. So you went to the Scare?
Yeah. Then I went to Rufus King Middle School, and then that ended up just giving me the ticket to the high school.
Okay.
And honestly, during that time, my grades wasn't really like all that, so I kind of had to just take what came with it.
Right.
I wasn't really focused back then in high school, so really like I put the blame on myself, really. because I should have been more focused than, in high school,
Right.
trying to get those scholarships and stuff. And I knew I could have did it. I just was distracted by
Everything else.
everything else. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
easy to be an influence of the young, but what I'm hearing from you, man, you are super, super reflective, and you take accountability for like everything that whatever you said. And I think that lends to what you were saying with your ambitious apparel.
Yeah.
And the fact that you said, hey, our motive is to don't make excuses for stuff and be able to adapt,
Yeah,
right? And no
gotta
matter
always
what
adapt.
comes to it, you got to be able to adapt. Okay, I put all my all in this. I failed or it didn't turn out the way. I still got to be able to bounce back and adapt to that. And I hear that from you. Right?
Yeah, most
you know what I'm saying? Just from that. And for you still to be young, because how old are you now?
24.
24, still at a ripe age, man.
Yeah.
Still at a ripe age.
there.
Still at a ripe age. So my question is, I know you said you kind of like talked about why you became an entrepreneur in terms of like you went into that financial aid office and you were just like, yeah, this ain't it. What made you want to do entrepreneur as opposed to just like working a regular job?
Well,
Not saying that you didn't have a regular job at the same time, but just saying like what made you be like, no, I gotta do something for myself.
right. So pretty much during that time, like while I was making that transition, I was also doing a lot of reading too. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this book about Robert Kiyosaki.
Rich
called
Dad, Poor
Rich
Dad.
Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was reading that book, and it gave me a lot of insight on like the business world of things
And money.
Yeah, and money, most definitely money. So he basically with the book, for those that don't know about
For
it,
sure, educate them.
yeah, the book is basically Robert Kiyosaki. He had two different dads, right?
Yep.
So he had his regular dad who was working a 9 to 5.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He was struggling to make ends meet. He believed in, the regular facade where you gotta go to school,
Get all the education.
take out all these loans, and then, you know what I'm saying, then go out into the business, go out into the workforce world and
Yep.
work your butt off to pay these loans back.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how your life is just supposed to be set up.
Right.
And then aside from that, he had another dad who was a serial entrepreneur.
Yep.
Who was big on investing into yourself.
Yep.
And he also was focused on using the power of OPM, which is other people's money.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's initially how I got into the the credit business too. So
Okay.
After reading that book, and then I was also reading a book by Jamal King.
Okay.
Called 9 to 5 Millionaire.
Okay. I haven't read that one.
Yeah, he's from Chicago. He underground, but he really he's very successful.
Okay.
So pretty much what that book entails about is how you got to play offense and defense in the business world. So you playing defense by always keeping a 9 to 5. That's your your earned income. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna always
Had that.
Yeah, you're gonna always have that paycheck coming as long as you put the work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he had another side of him where he was investing in real estate. So he was a cop, and he kept his job. He wasn't like everybody
As a
else.
police officer. That was his 9 to 5.
Yep, that was his 9 to 5.
Okay.
And he had the same dreams as a kid. He wanted to go to the NFL and stuff like that. So, aside from what everybody else talk about, how when you start investing in the assets and stuff like that, you quit your job and let your assets pay for you. He didn't believe in that. He believed in keeping your 9 to 5 to play defense and then investing in the assets and stuff like that to play offense. So, there's no way you could really lose.
Got you.
You know what
Because
I'm
you
saying?
still got something stable to fall back on.
Yeah, you always got an income coming in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So that's what you was doing. So that's kind of like, did that help you become more confident? Like, yep, this is what I'm going to do as far as being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel like those two books changed my life. And that's what made me start thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. Because I'm like, okay, 9 to 5. I mean, nowadays with this economy, you going to have to work like two, 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Just to keep up.
Just to keep up. So I'm like, you got to have some type of other income coming in
Man.
so you don't burn yourself out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so with that being inspiring to you, right? And like kind of like lighting a fire under you, and you start having your wheels turning, things like that, and you start doing these businesses, and we're going to get into the credit business and things like that soon. But what have you learned on the way in terms of you being an entrepreneur? Like what lessons have you learned? Like in terms of, let's say, man, I shouldn't have did that. I should have did it this way, or...
Man, I'm so
us a little
young.
insight.
I'm so young, man, and I it's crazy. I've been through so much stuff in the business world already up until this point. So,
What's one of the biggest things that you was like, oh my gosh, I messed that one up?
one of the biggest takeaways, it was actually recently.
Okay.
I ended up getting approved for some business funding.
Okay.
Like $50,000 worth, and I flopped it, man. I flopped it.
You flopped it.
I trusted the wrong people, invested to the wrong people, and yeah, so I flopped it, man. So that's what initially made me have to really do an audit. Like I done a lot of audits on myself from 18 to 24. Like I'll say this is probably last year was probably my biggest year in like personal development.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like going to the gym, actually journaling things, going to
beautiful.
church. You know what I'm saying? Like I started really like
locking in
on myself, you know, because I used to be so tied into just like money. You know what I'm saying? Like that was all I was focused on because that's how the world moves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you can, you know, one thing I read in the book is that, you know, you don't focus on your health and you focus on everything else, all these other financial problems, until you have like a big health issue. And now all your problems turn into one big problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Absolutely. That's crazy. So 50,000, you made it, you tried to invest in something.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out.
Did not turn out. I just trusted the wrong people.
How hard is that? Like, how hard is it to decipher, like, who to trust and who not to trust? Like,
you don't. You just gotta take your L's and learn how to learn from it. And like I said, you gotta learn how to adapt.
So is it really like when we talk about business and entrepreneurship? Is it really like taking a risk? And do you believe in the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward?
Yes, sometimes. Yeah, I do. Like, if you was to ask me again, like, you know, if I was to get the chance to do it again, I would. No, I wouldn't lose that amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. But
right,
like,
sure.
I learned a lot from that. You know what I'm saying? Because of that situation, you know, that's what made me do a deep dive into like everything else outside of money. Because now, since that ain't working, you know what I'm saying? Now that I failed on that
right.
term. You know what I'm saying? I failed. You know, I'm not afraid to admit that I failed. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the journey.
Appreciate the transparency too.
Yeah, that's part of the journey. That's why, like, one of my favorite people, Nipsey Hussle, when he say it's a marathon, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
Yeah, you're gonna have your highs, you're gonna have your lows. You know what I'm saying? But I'll do it again. You know, I learned a lot from that lesson, and then just beyond that, I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, I'll do it again.
And then just before I start talking about the credit repair business you got, and then just to think about you've been doing all of this and going through all these things, you know, up and downs or whatnot, and then you've been able to audit yourself and, you know, take it on the chin and just continue to adapt and have that positive outlook. Yeah. You also have a young son that, you know, you take care of and a young lady, so it's just like, you know.
A lot of stress, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. How did it feel to, you know, you're responsible for these people and then that type of thing happen?
Yeah, man. So I was actually beating myself up for a while after I took that L. You know what I'm saying? And only reason I was is because my son was born New Year's Eve last year. So like during that process, that last quarter of 2023, I was going hard, man. I was trying to do 3 things. I was trying to buy my car under my new car under my business because I was riding like a 2006 Chevy. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to get a new car under my business because it wouldn't work with trying to, you know, bring my son, because my car was breaking down, all types of stuff. It was overheating, all types of stuff. Right. So I had to, you know, that was one of my goals, one of my other goals to get the business funding that, you know, I obviously flopped.
For sure. And
then another thing was just, you know, just trying to prepare. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I took that loss, you know, it did change a lot about like how I perceived my family and stuff like that. But all in all, man, like, you know, I was going through a lot of stress trying to make sure things was right.
Right.
And, you know, after I got all that and was blessed with all that, you know, God taught me a lesson. You know, he took it away. You know what I'm saying? But he took it away for a reason. You know, I used to think like, why me? Like, why do I have to go? Am I a bad guy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of questions.
I was questioning myself a lot. But, you know, after I even started going to counseling, man. Like, that's where I actually just came from. Like,
kind of like therapy type stuff?
Yeah, like therapy.
That's great.
Yeah, and a lot of black people need to start going to therapy.
Yeah.
So, you know, after I started going to therapy, going to church and stuff, you know, I started looking at, you know, the good in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I took that L, you know, right before my son was born. Well, after my son was born. And, you know, now I got to figure out a way to make it back. You know what I'm saying? So
you can't cry over it, right?
Can't cry over it. What is that going to solve?
Yeah.
Like, I think once you done crying, you still going to be in that position.
And I think what's most admirable about everything that you're saying beyond the transparency is the fact that you were saying that you were preparing everything in 2023 for your son to be born. Boom, he comes here. You didn't try to do all these things. Something happens. You only get a quick minute to kind of like soak in that. Like, I got to get back up, right? But one thing that I see that you said that you did was you audited yourself. You accept the responsibility for it. You start seeking out, let me get this therapy together. Let me get myself right with God. Let me start doing these things where I invest in myself to really clean myself up and pick myself up. And that's super admirable, especially for a 24-year-old. Because you know they say your frontal lobe is not closed until 25.
Yeah.
But it seemed like you ahead of the game. You know what I mean? So shout out you, man.
Appreciate it.
Really shout out you. So now, like you said, you did clothing, you tried trucking. What was the other one you said you tried to do?
I tried carpentry.
And was there anything else that I missed? Because before,
I mean, in college, I tried a lot of things too. I tried like graphic design.
Okay.
Yeah, which I was pretty solid with that, but you know,
but that wasn't
it wasn't. You know, I did the math, like all these loans. Then I seen like the jobs in the job market. I'm like, it don't add up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be working my whole life to, you know what I'm saying, trying to pay that back. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, but now you find yourself in the credit industry. So now you have your own credit business. You're a credit entrepreneur. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I actually started my credit repair business. I want to say April of last year.
Okay.
I actually started off being a partnership with somebody.
Okay.
And you know that was part of the reason that he kind of got back on me in terms of like the loan, and that's how I kind of took the L, because the partnership didn't go the way things needed to go.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's deep.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
knowing who to work with, boy.
That's why you're saying you gotta watch who you trust in this business, man. You gotta watch who you trust.
Uh-huh.
So I started off working with him, you know, and then, you know, obviously once, you know, the partnership didn't fall right and we, you know, fell off and, you know what I'm saying, things like that. Obviously I had to come up with some other source of income so I could pay this loan back.
For
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? So that's what made me like, okay, I did another deep audit on myself. I'm like, okay, what are my skills? What am I good at that I can bring to the world to make a profit? So I'm like, okay, I'm already equipped, because he did teach me a couple things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? He did teach me a couple things, and I did learn a lot from reading, and then I was also attending a couple
you going to a lot
events.
of conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I went to Eric
seeing
Thomas conference in Chicago like 2 years ago. Then there was a guy named Will Roundtree.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually from Milwaukee, but
Roundtree, did he coach?
I don't even know his past, to be honest.
It sounds familiar, but go ahead.
Yeah, so he's from Milwaukee, but he's very like knowledgeable in like real estate, credit, and things like that. So I ended up going to one of his events.
Okay.
Went to Eric Thomas event. It was another event I went to. I can't remember. It was like in Detroit or something.
Okay.
But you know, pretty much after just going to all these different events, picking a lot of people's brains as far as like what they how they became successful. That's what made me just be like, okay, I'm gonna get into the credit field.
Okay.
You know, and that's when I decided like this is gonna be my bread and butter. I think another lesson that I got from out of this was that I was trying to diversify too early. You know what I'm saying?
I remember we had that conversation you told via text. You was telling me that.
Yeah, so like I think that was like one of my biggest mistakes too. I was trying to diversify too early. Like you said, I'm a serial entrepreneur, but right now the clothing brand is actually on pause because I'm focused on this credit business. Not saying the apparel line gonna be just dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bring that back once I master this field.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna start pouring into that cup.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I got involved with the credit side of things. And
what's the name of it?
My credit repair business. It's just Bentley Management LLC.
Bentley Management LLC. Okay. And what do you focus on? What are the services that do you offer?
So some of the services that I offer is like a full bureau sweep. So like, you got TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know this, but those aren't really the credit bureaus.
Interesting.
They not. So really, they second party agencies that report to the main credit bureau, which is CFPB. You ever heard of them?
CFPB. I've seen that like on a piece of mail or something before.
Yeah, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
And you teaching me something right now because listen, Quest and I tried to do like some cleaning up some stuff back in 2017, just to, prepare us for like purchasing a home and things like that.
Right.
And I swear I thought it was Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Those were the main ones we was checking on the regular. Nope. Didn't know about this. Continue.
Yeah, so they just second party agencies that report to the CFPB. So I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, you saying a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that CFPB is actually the main bureau that oversees like your disputes, getting things removed and things like that.
Got you.
So Yeah, I think that's pretty much like how I got back into the credit field. You know
So then for Bentley Management LLC, when let's say a client comes to you and wants to help repair their credit, what type of services do you offer? What do you do for?
Oh yeah, that's what we was getting on. So yeah, I do like the 3 bureau sweep. That's like where you deal with Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. You wipe off all derogatory marks, inquiries, collections, repos, evictions, bankruptcy, all those things that like can bring your credit down.
And you know how to do all that.
Yeah, I know how to do all that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Then I just opened up a service with trade lines.
Okay.
So what trade lines do, basically you serving as an authorized user on somebody else's credit line. So like say your credit limit is kind of maxed out. You know what I'm saying? So you add a trade line on there to bring down your usage. So then that way you'll get that big score too.
So you saying,
well, you will get a big score increase, I say. Yeah.
And does it work for let's say I have a $10,000 Discover card limit, right? And my cousin or friend is trying to build their credit, and let's say I've only used like $1,000 on my $10,000 balance, right? I'm lower than the 30%, right? I'm lower than 30%, right? Because I think you're supposed to be lower than 30, right? Right. Is that what they say?
30%, yeah.
Yeah. So if I add him or her to my credit card, will it boost their credit?
It should. It most
Okay,
definitely
that's
should.
how it works, right? I think
that's how it works. You just adding them as an authorized user onto that line. Not saying
Yeah.
they're gonna get a card or anything,
Right,
You know what
but-
I'm saying? It's just adding them as a user onto your line, onto their line. So then they usage goes down, and then you know what I'm saying, that boosts their score up.
Absolutely.
On paper it look like that usage. You know what I'm saying? Not really through the roof.
Right. That's
So yeah,
crazy.
I offer those trade lines. I also offer LLC formation and setup.
Okay.
So like cause like one of the main things about credit is you use your personal credit to obtain business credit. And what business credit do is like it don't show up on your credit report, on your personal credit report. So like the car I just recently got, it's not showing up on my personal credit report because I purchased it through my business.
Okay, you teaching me some more. So how do you establish? Okay, so you say you get business credit through your personal credit.
Yeah, the underwriters look at your personal credit to determine what type of loan or whatever they should give you on the business side.
Okay, because people are talking about like establishing business credit, and obviously I got like my LLC for intrinsically motivated and things like that, which is kind of like what the podcast is kind of through. But I kind of started a nonprofit as well. But I've never tapped into that
business
part.
credit.
Yeah,
you should, man, because it's not gonna show up on your personal credit. So you can max out a card on the business side and it won't show up on your personal credit. Like that's why I normally use all my business credit cards when I go on vacations, because I'm obviously gonna spend a bag. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't want to mess up what I'm doing on the business side, like on the personal side of things, because that's what the underwriters look at.
Gotcha.
So I use my business credit cards to purchase, like, make a lot of my business purchases or go on vacations and things like that.
Man, that's a lot of credit education you just gave me. So you do the 3 bureau sweep, trade lines,
LLC formation. And what the LLC formation is, I basically just teach people how to, because a lot of people don't really know how to set up an LLC. Like as simple as it really is.
I did it online.
You did it online? I mean, yeah, you're supposed to do it online, but like,
I still didn't feel like I knew exactly what I was doing.
You see, a lot of people, they don't really know that, like how to set it up and how to structure it properly. To get those business credit lines. Like it's a certain way you got to structure it to get those type of business credit lines or approvals and things like that. Like,
I'm definitely going to have you look at my stuff. I'm going to have to inquire. Yeah, I'm going to have to be one of your clients. I'm going to tell you that. Because, because you over here like got my mind going crazy.
Yeah, you ain't know that don't show up on your personal credit?
So I kind of knew, man, but okay, so just think about this. Like credit education, like, when I went to college, man, it was like my economics teacher told me, it was a lecture. It was Econ 102 or something like that. It was macro or micro. I can't remember. We in there with like 300 to 500 students. He talking about student loans. He tells us, he said, borrow. This is in August of 2005. I had just graduated high school, so I'm a freshman in college. And he like, borrow. So I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'll just go to school and just make it all pay for, through loans. Not knowing that eventually this stuff is going to sit on my credit if I don't have a job, right, that can actually pay it off on a regular. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And then what do you do in college? They offer you credit cards just for buying a pizza at Domino's. You know how many credit cards they was handing out to college students? And before you know it, your credit is shot.
Yeah.
So my credit was shot for a while because I had, listen, Can you imagine? I had just turned 18. I'm 18, 19. I had an American Express with no limit.
No limit.
That's how good my credit was. No limit. I had a green card with no limit. I could do whatever.
It was Amex?
No limit. I
Yeah,
promise you could ask questions. No limit. What? Oh, and what was we into? Shoes, clothes, and cars.
Yeah, regular facade.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So for you saying this, it's just like a lot of people don't know about the credit education piece. You know what I mean? And I know you said you should do some talks at different places sometimes, right?
Right.
Was it about credit education or was it just like about other things?
So no, I actually, like I said, I started my credit repair business like last year sometime. So when I was speaking at events and stuff like that, it was on behalf of this group called the Milwaukee Fellows.
Okay, got you. Shout out to Milwaukee Fellows.
Yep. So yeah, that was during the time I was in college. That's when I was really active because they really only work with like, you know, students that's trying to go to college and graduate and things like that. So it's actually like I'm actually blessed that they still kept me in the group because like I'm not even in college anymore. You know what I'm saying? But they still kept me around because they know I'm still.
You got those qualities.
You know what I'm saying? I still got those qualities and I'm still an entrepreneur at the end of the day. You know, and they still, they support entrepreneurs too. So go ahead, keep going. Yeah. So when I was speaking at those events, like it was mainly just speaking about like how to be. Basically, how to live as a college student. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And, your perspective, your experience.
My experiences, the profession that I was going into. And they used to have a lot of fellows come up and just speak about that type of stuff. Yeah. So, you know, all the guests and stuff in the area can get a feel of just like who we all are. You know what I'm saying?
Have you thought about doing like some credit education talks or something like that in the financial literacy space?
I do. I plan to do so in the near future. You know what I'm saying? It's just right now I'm just working on scaling my business up.
For sure.
You know, trying to get my name out there. Basically.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, if I'm ever get the opportunity to come speak at one, I'll be blessed to come in and do that.
For sure. I mean, I already got some ideas. Obviously, I want you to do what you got to do with your business. But in the summer, I don't know if you've seen it, but my buddy had been doing this. It's called the Tot Lot Tournament. He had been doing that for the past, I think this year was like 13, if I'm not mistaken, the 13th year. And it's a community event. It's around basketball and things like that. But this year we had like a whole bunch of community like resources. So you had the Milwaukee Fire Department. You had the city of Milwaukee. You had the police department. You had Aurora Healthcare. You had all Axe Housing. You had a lot of vendors there, but this year he has some things under that he wants to do it for planning for enrichment of children, enrichment of kids. Right. So character, education, and credit. You see what I'm saying? That all falls under there. So I'll definitely be in touch in regards to you because, like I said, if I'm 37 years old and you over here educating me, had I known some of this stuff at 18, 19, man, I would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like that's the problem with like. I mean, honestly, it seemed like they've been getting better at it.
Like they kind of trying to infuse it a little bit more. Into
like I was looking at Ronald Reagan website just out of boredom. I was looking at Ronald Reagan website recently, and I seen that they finally offering like financial literacy course and stuff like that. Even King is too.
I think it's mandatory now in Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. It's mandatory for a financial literacy class for high schools to take a financial literacy class in high school now. I think it's like required. Really?
That's good. That's good that they finally like. I wish they had that when I was younger. You know what I'm saying?
That's all I'm saying.
And man. I only been out of high school like what 4 years. So
whoa,
wait,
4?
No.
Well, no, I mean wait, 18. Well,
19,
no,
20, 21, 22,
7 years. I've been out 20 this year.
And they never taught us that.
Never.
They never taught us that. So I'm happy that they finally offering that as a service.
Right.
But like you said, like when you were taking a financial literacy course, when all they were telling you like borrow, like
econ. This was economics. We talking about supply and demand. And he said borrow.
Which I mean, part of it is right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You do in order to make money, you got to spend some money.
For sure.
But you got to use debt to make more money. You know what I'm saying?
And I've been hearing that.
Yeah, like
I've been hearing like, and not to put a color on it, but I've always heard that a lot of Caucasian people are successful people. I don't want to make that synonymous at all, but I'm just saying, like, this is what some of the things I will hear. Like, you know, this is what they do. They leverage their debt to make income.
Right, and then they use that income to pay off the debt, basically.
Crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy.
So, like, even I was just doing, like, an analysis, like, on some of, like, our biggest entrepreneurs, like Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like Donald Trump, Oprah Winfrey, Who else? Who else was a serial entrepreneur?
Me, Master P was I.
Master P. And Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I realized that was in common with all of them was all of them filed bankruptcy before on the business.
And that's crazy because bankruptcy is looked at as like a black eye.
Yeah.
Like you don't do that, and it's almost taboo where people don't want to talk about it if they had it.
Right. So they all filed bankruptcy before, and because they took out so many debts, you know what I'm saying, and they weren't able to pay it back. You know what I'm saying? But they used that debt to just purchase more assets, and then what they all did was this is an insider tip. They just filed bankruptcy on the business, like. You know, like
because it's separate from you.
Yeah, it's separate from you. So say like I opened up a business, Desmond Bentley's,
washing machine,
right? So I use that to get some funding or whatever, right? And then once I get that money, this is what a lot of white folks do. Once I get that funding, you just file bankruptcy on the business. Make sure that it don't got a personal guarantee on it, because then if they do, then they gonna come for your assets. But if it don't got a personal guarantee on it, then you just file bankruptcy on that business, let it go, get that money, and then open another LLC. Wow. That's what a lot of white folks do.
That's crazy.
That's what a lot of white folks do.
Did you learn this just through like your own self-education, or have you like talked to different people? Like, how did you end up becoming so educated in this space?
Like I said, I've been reading a lot of books. I watch a lot of interviews and stuff like that too. From I watch a lot of Nip.
Okay.
I watch a lot of just real estate gurus and stuff online and stuff like that. And like I said, I've been going to a lot of events and stuff where I actually personally made those connections to, learn about that type of stuff. Like I got a lot of business connects in my phone where I just call them and chop it up with them. Just pick their brain. Yep.
How important is that to have like resources like that at your fingertips where you can be like, let me text this person or let me call this person? Like, how important is that for you on your entrepreneurship like journey?
Yeah, it's always important to have a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like given you being at a young age and you getting into something that you ain't really knowledgeable about. It's good to have somebody who took on that type of course, who been through all the emotions, who been through all that type of stuff. Yeah, and they made it. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have those type of connects because you can always call them when you take a loss or anything like that, and then they can give you insight on how to fix that and keep it pushing. Because
we definitely need that wisdom. And it's crazy because I was my wife has a business and things like that where she does like events and decor and stuff like that. And obviously I've been trying to do my business thing, and sometimes like I always find it kind of like hard. Like I said, I didn't know about. Like when I tried, like I'm the guy that's like, I'm in education, so I'm gonna pour my heart into education. Right. I'm gonna keep doing that. I may do my little stuff on the side, but I've always thought about venturing off, but I just didn't know exactly kind of like how to. So we would look up for different like things to go to find out how do you get grants, how do you get funding, things like that. But some of it just didn't, kind of like resonate with me. I didn't really understand it, or I didn't, I was just ignorant about it. You know what I mean? Right. But then this one lady was like. This is what she said. This was her opinion. She said that black people are over mentored and underfunded. Definitely. What do you think about that? Because I agree with you in terms of you need somebody to mentor you. You need somebody that can be like, hey, I'm going through this, man. Like, give me some wisdom on this, or what should I do? Some kind of direction. Right. But I also understand what she's saying as well.
Yeah, I think when she make that statement, it's just always about like just picking the right mentor. Like I said, like that guy that I worked with, it wasn't in my intentions that he was gonna scam me out of $50,000.
Right, what I'm saying?
Because he was like connected with so many people, and then he was like, even the bank recommended him to work with me. You know what I'm saying? So like I had a lot of trust in that guy. You know what I'm saying? But, right. So he eventually was my mentor for some time, but I feel like a big problem in our community is that everybody is trying to get back on, get more ahead than the other instead of working collaboratively. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, like everybody just.
Why is that so hard? Why is that so
hard? People.
Why is that so hard to collaborate? That's all I'm saying. Like, even with this podcast, man, I'm not trying to do nothing but figure out a way to create a conglomerate of people that can collaborate, where it's not competition, where we can all rise together, right? And create we can a whole
platform, and we'll be so much bigger as our own if we all just work together. Like, but it's just it's just hard. I don't know why.
Have you, and that's crazy, I'm going off topic a little bit. Have you run into any gatekeeping of information? Like someone not wanting to give you somewhere you could feel it? Like,
oh yeah, all the time. And I respect it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people I met, like just in the business world, you know, I met with a guy, I talked to a guy, he charged $1,000 just to talk to him for an hour. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I paid that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta pay to play.
You gotta pay to play, right.
You gotta pay to play, you know, just to get that information. But I wouldn't say it's really like gatekeeping in a way. It's just like, okay, I put in all this work. I invested all this money into knowing what I know. You know what I'm saying? I can't just give you this game for free. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you do have some people where you just, you know, asking them for like just a quick tip and they don't want to share it with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's also been a common thing like in our society. Like I don't know why we set up like that. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody that like work with me, like I always try to tell them like, you know, like if somebody got like 2 inquiries on their credit report or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And then they got like all these closed off accounts, but they only want the inquiries removed. I'll tell them like, okay, I wouldn't necessarily try to remove the inquiries because like most underwriters, they don't really care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like about inquiries too much. Like if you got like less than 3, I'll say like you're not really like, that's not really, yeah, it ain't gonna really boost you up or bring you down too much if you just to get it removed. Like I always try to offer like an insight before I start working with them. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I always...
That's a consulting piece.
Yeah, that's why I do the consultation calls for, just to, you know, pick their brains, see where they at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Figure out what they are trying to achieve. And then, you know, we figure out a game plan based off that.
Right, because it always seemed like it's easy to hit your credit negatively, but it's hard to like boost it back up. That's what it always seems like.
Yeah, man. And then that's like another thing.
Is that the truth or what is that?
That is the truth.
Okay.
That is the truth. That's the truth. And it's crazy because like when you get into the credit repair game, it's like people be wanting their credit fixed in like 2 weeks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 weeks, like, come on, let's be realistic. It didn't take you 2 weeks to make that drop. You know what I'm saying? Like it always takes 30, 90 days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it is possible to get it done in 2 weeks. So, but I'm gonna put you on some game. So it's a hack out there in the credit game. A lot of people promoting it. It's dangerous as hell. It's called the TransUnion Sweep. So basically,
what?
Yeah, it's a TransUnion Sweep. It wipe off every derogatory mark off your TransUnion credit report. Only TransUnion specifically. But what people don't know about that hack is when they do it, they basically filing you through for human trafficking.
What?
Yeah, so you basically write to the bureau, the TransUnion Bureau, saying that you are a victim of human trafficking, and that's how all those derogatory marks got put on their credit report. And then, like in 4 or 7 days, they wipe everything off. But sometimes, I think they let the department. I forgot what department. You know, like the Department of Justice. And all that. Right. They let one. I forgot which one. But they let one of they basically report that to them, and I haven't seen nobody get caught for it yet, but it sounds dangerous to me. You know what I'm saying?
Because like you can get investigated for that.
Yeah, you can go to jail for that.
Right.
You and the person you worked with, and they'll put all that stuff back on your credit report too. So you just did all that for no reason. That's why I like to use consumer laws in my credit report. Okay. Because those are what's enabled to protect you.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like you use consumer laws, that's really put in place to protect you in terms of dealing with the credit bureaus. Yeah, it takes like 30, 90 days, but it's the right way to do it. And it won't go back on your credit report. And you won't go to jail.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So
nobody want to be dealing with them laws like that.
For real. So that's why I always like disclose to people like 30, 90 days to get your credit report fixed. And, you know, that's like the first thing I do. I tell them that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that hack, a lot of people I know personally been doing that hack, promoting that hack. And I'm like, nah,
I ain't touching that. Nuh-uh.
I'm good.
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but who are maybe like your top 3 influencers? I know you've been mentioning Nipsey and things like that, Kev. Like, is there anybody else that's been extremely, extremely influential in just like you becoming a man you are and the entrepreneur you are?
Yeah, like I said, in terms of like just like social media and things like that, celebrities, Nip is definitely number 1.
Okay.
I watch his interviews like mostly every day. You know what I'm saying? He a real inspirational dude. I actually got a lot of books I learned off him. I don't know if you read this book called The Way of a Superior Man.
No.
Man, you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out. It just teach you a lot. Like when you coming up in the world and you getting, you know, you making a lot of business jumps, I say, like in terms of just getting all this new money, getting all these new habits, all these new challenges that's coming your way. It teach you how to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? As a man.
Got you.
So Nip is definitely one of my favorite mentors to go about. Steve Harvey is also another one. I like to, even though he's funny as hell, he be talking some real stuff, man, about just like putting God first. How he was, I don't know if people know, but he was homeless 2 years. Not 2 years, but most of his younger life he was homeless, and how he had to just come up and things like that. I watched a lot of Steve Harvey and Nip. My Uncle Kev has also been very inspirational to me too. A lot of things he said to me when I was younger just still stick on my head to this day. Like one thing he used to tell me, like, every day you wake up, you got to piss excellence. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know why, but that's been stuck on me like every day. Like, so nowadays, like for the past 3-4 years, like I got this agenda. Well, I got a notebook, and like I can't live without it. Like, it got my day-to-day duties in it, like my to-do list, things I need to achieve, workouts, everything I do. Yeah, the times I eat for, my weight gain process, everything. I got everything in there. I can't live without it. You can ask my girl, like, I'll be late to work just because I can't find my notebook. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. Yeah, so every day, like, that stuck with me. Like, every day you wake up, you got to piss excellence. And, just seeing him, like, just operate in the business world, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of why I took on that process of trying to get in sports management, just because I like the way he, you know what I'm saying, he lived.
Moving, right.
Yeah, but, like, over time, I started looking into, like, how long it takes to get you to that level. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't, as time progressed, I just figured, like, I'm not really, like, I love sports,
right?
But I don't love sports enough to get involved with, like, contracts and, and emotions and, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. So then, like, I'm like, okay, how can I bring this same side into a different perspective, which is also why I'm in school to be a realtor right now.
Got you.
Because I'm going to bring those same aspects into that field. Okay. And I also know I want to be more educated in real estate. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So you going to school right now for that? Or are you taking classes for that?
Yeah, I'm taking classes for that right now.
Okay. What made you want to do that?
Pretty much just like how I got into real estate. It was in 2022. I purchased 2 properties back to back. Okay. 2 investment properties with the help of my cousin. Okay. And it kind of just changed my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really... Man, you don't know how bad it changed my life. Like, because I actually got fired from 2 jobs back to back. Like, I was fired from one in September 2023. And then I ended up getting, like, I think, September 3rd. Yeah, September 3rd, 2023. I remember the date specifically. I worked a 16-hour shift. They let me work it. Then I came in and they fired me. So then I had another job lined up. I'm like, all right, cool. Peace. You know what I'm saying? I had another one lined up on the 10th. And then, they fired me like on the 23rd or whatever. So I ain't had nothing coming in. Like, I was working DoorDash, but I still had that real estate money coming in. I still had that mailbox money coming in. So I was able to still, like, keep myself, manage. I had to obviously budget a little bit harder. For sure. Real estate definitely changed my life because it's always mailbox money. Like, you open the mailbox, money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but that was the thing. Like, that's all I knew. Like, all I knew was that I had these 2 properties and it was cash flowing. I ain't know nothing else. Till then, I just realized that it's a whole playbook behind that. Like, you got property taxes, you got escrows, you got repairs, insurance, all that stuff, man. So I wanted to become very educated in that stuff, so I knew what I was doing because I already put my money into it. So it's like I got to know more about it. And then, so I'm like, okay, so this changed my life, and I want to be able to serve as that catalyst for people to help change their life. So I'm like, okay, what ties them 2 together? Credit and real estate.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, all right, this is going to be my bread and butter.
Very smart.
Yeah, this is going to be my bread and butter until I master it. And then I'm going to diversify back into my clothing brand, and I got aspirations of starting a washing machine. I got other aspirations, but I'm like, okay, I learned my lessons from all these losses. So I'm instead of diversifying, I'm gonna stick with these 2, master it, and then
move on from that.
Because now I got that on autopilot.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
It run itself.
Yeah, it run itself. I have my team built and everything like that. It'll be running itself. Now I got more time to diversify into other projects.
And that's a perfect marriage when you think about it, the credit and the real estate. Like, you need credit to be able to purchase a home, right?
Purchase a home, get a car, get business funding, all that stuff. Like, and it fluctuates based off your interest rates too. Mm-hmm. So like, if you got a higher credit score, you're gonna get a lower interest rate on everything. You know what I'm saying? But if your credit score is shot,
right,
you're gonna probably be coming out an extra couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? That's how much of a difference your credit make on like those type of things, like a couple thousand, which I don't know about you, but like I like to keep. I would love to keep that money. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. And that's one thing I will shout out COVID for. I hate that it happened, it had to affect everybody, but we purchased our home during COVID.
Oh yeah.
So interest rates was.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know what I mean?
Back through the roof, but
what?
They back through the roof now.
Right? Then they always sending you stuff to like refinance and all that.
I'm
like, I'm cool where I'm at, man. I'm cool where I'm at. So man, it sounds like you done a lot just within your young age, your 24 years, man. Mm-hmm. And I see the ambition, I see the promise, I see the plan, and you working on executing it and things like that. So you're doing all these things. Mm-hmm. What do you do for yourself personally? I know you talk about how your workout regimen, your daily duties. Like, how do you manage those things?
That's actually been a process for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause obviously I got a lot going on from taking that loss and stuff. So I'm actually just like trying to work on just not letting that affect me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
I used to let that affect me a lot. It changed my mood when I was in the house and stuff like that. And then it don't do nothing but make things worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause now you don't got no peace everywhere you at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you're arguing with the lady at home because you're not
right up there mentally.
You're not right up there mentally. So I've been working on that a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? Not letting the outside world affect me internally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I've been going to counseling and things like that, because like that's a challenge, man. Especially me at a young age, and like not like I'm gonna be fully transparent on here. Like, I've been dealing with a lot of issues, like just with like the police, man, because like my license is revoked. You know what I'm saying? My license revoked. So I've been arrested and put behind bars a couple times. You know what I'm saying, in my life. So just all those struggles, you just can't let it affect you internally. You know what I'm saying? So like one thing that like Nips always said, like I remember I was rewatching an interview from him. You can't really let anything that you don't have control over take over what you got going on
and dictate how your response
and you can control everything, such as like how you respond to people, how you move about life, how you go about things, what you say, what you like, and certain things that you do, you got control over that. You know what I'm saying? But we be so stressed about things that we can't control that we forget that we living in some of our past prayers. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's one thing that like it's been a journey for me, and I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm perfect at it yet. Like, I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the process of learning that. But yeah, it's definitely been a journey for me though. Like, that's why I've been trying to go to church more. I've been journaling a lot lately. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like just hashing out, getting mad, and because things ain't going right. I journal it. Then at the end of every week on Sunday, I reflect my week. You know what I'm saying? I see like what went wrong, what went bad. You know what I'm saying? I just try to. Every Sunday you reborn. Every day you reborn, but I like to like focus more on Sunday, because like, okay, now I got a fresh start to this week. So,
got you.
You know what I'm saying? So every day you reborn, you get another chance to just go harder than the last.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the right attitude for sure, man. I tell you that, because I think a lot of people, even your age, even my age, would dwell on stuff.
It's crazy because like some people don't really learn. They don't learn at all. Like they take that to the grave with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I mean, a lot of people do that, especially when as they get older. They a lot more hesitant to change, a lot more hesitant to unlearn some stuff, or to even learn from their mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when Frederick Douglass did say, like, it's easier to build up strong children than to repair broken men. That's super, super, super true, bro. Yeah, because once you get to my age, or a little bit, or maybe like the late 20s, early 30s, like, what can you really tell a man sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Right. But the fact that you on that trajectory if you keep an open mind, you always looking at things, and you look at it half full.
Yeah, you
know what I
gotta
mean?
always be a student.
Yeah, you always being a student. You reading, and you looking, you observing, you watching, you planning. The journaling thing is crazy.
Yeah,
for
I
you,
do that
like,
a lot now.
and that's great because, I mean, I tell a lot of teachers and males to like, you gotta write it down
That's the
because
only way.
sometimes when it come out, that affects somebody to the core. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you said, you come into the house and that affects your entire household, your whole environment, and you can't get no peace there.
Most definitely.
You can't get no
and
peace
that's
there.
the main place you're gonna be at all the time. Is your
Right.
home. So,
Yeah, your home
yeah.
sake. So, man, that's beautiful, man. I'm inspired by you. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm super proud of you though.
Appreciate it.
Just from everything, the transparency, the vulnerability, man, the aspirations, you just stick with it. You got the wherewithal to do it, and Quest always sing your praises and rave about you. You know what I'm saying? A lot. Like, me and him talk on a daily like clockwork.
Sure.
So,
yeah, and that's the main reason I'm being transparent, man, because like I know it's a lot of people going through the same thing I'm going through.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that are about to go through it, been through it already, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna be an example of somebody who don't quit.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm being so transparent right now, because at the end of the day, once this all said and done, we gonna see where we gonna be at. And
Absolutely.
it's gonna be at the top. I don't know how we gonna get there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is probably like my first year ever like being, well, last year was probably my first year ever where I was thrown off and I didn't have like, my plan didn't go right, and now I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? That was and I still kind of don't know what to do, to be honest. But like, as long as you give 110% every day, you gonna get there.
You figuring it out, though.
You gonna figure it out. You just gotta take it brick by brick, one day at a time. So
one day at a time. So my final question for you would be, man, you got a lot going on and things like that. You got a lot of things you want to accomplish. You got a family. You got people that you want to impact. What's your motive for everything that you're doing, that you're trying to do? What's your reason behind what you're doing?
I say the reason behind what I'm doing, I kind of like mentioned it, was I just want to serve as a catalyst. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be that example of somebody who don't give up. You know what I'm saying? And I also just want to be that example of basically helping people reach their financial goals in terms of like the credit business and just like personal development. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been trying to post a lot of my routines and stuff online and stuff now. Like, I just want to be an example like of somebody who don't give up, who keeps going no matter what's thrown in their direction.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep ripping away at it day by day, brick by brick.
Day by day, brick by brick.
Brick by brick until, we influence a whole community.
For sure.
And then that community supports you, and then, word get out, then
you take off.
Yeah, you take off.
All right, and you keep pouring, man. And
just keep pouring into your cup.
And that's wonderful to hear, bro, especially from a young man such as yourself, man, because obviously I'm older and I'm trying to do these things, but it's great to know that, we have people like you, young people like you, that are like still striving to do the right thing and not for on your own, selfish gain. Obviously, we know that money is important for our own livelihoods and being able to support our families and stuff like that. But more importantly, being able to pour back into your community and impact and affect those around you, like you said, for financial gain, professional development, what I'm saying, personal development, and all those things. So that's extremely, extremely extremely impressive. And what I want to say is, before we get out of here, where can people find you on social media? How can they reach out to you in regards to your credit business or anything like that? And maybe if they want to follow you.
Yeah, so we're really big on Instagram
and
TikTok, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we still got it by tomorrow, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you follow us on Instagram, it's Bentley Management LLC.
Okay.
And actually, we got a credit repair sale going on right now till the 1st of February.
Okay.
Everything's half off. So normally I charge $700 to do like a full bureau sweep.
Gotcha.
Now people getting it for $350 up until February 1st.
Okay.
And then like trade lines, everything is 50% off right now. So this is the perfect time to lock in with me. And not to mention that the CFPB are actually suing Experian. They suing Capital One, and they suing American Express right now.
They suing
for improperly handling people's credit reports. So this is the perfect time to like start disputing stuff. So I got this sale going on.
Yes.
And all these all these companies are in hot water right now in terms of credit reporting. Just the perfect time to jump right now. So follow us on Instagram, Bentley Management LLC, same name on Facebook, and then on TikTok, I believe it's the same thing as well. yeah, that's how you can pretty much follow us. And then you could just shoot me a message if you want to type in credit repair services.
All right. Well, there you have it. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a great conversation. I'm glad we were able to catch up. My hope is that a lot of people that were tuning in actually picked up some of them gems you dropped. Because no matter how old you are, young or old, you should be able to learn from somebody. So
yeah, you got to always be an open book, for sure.
For sure. I appreciate you coming through, man.
Yeah, no problem, man.
And until next time, what's your motive?